just a quick notice from me before we get into today's episode that it was all filmed pre-lockdown. So please don't get at me in the comments. But stay at home, stay safe, and subscribe. They're the 3 main S's that you need in this time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you on the next one. Ready?
More than.
I'm nervous, not really.
I'm just gonna do the intro, guys.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Jordan Ritchie Podcast. This is episode 3. We have the Lab Podcast here with us today. So today's episode is going to be a bit crazy because it's going to be it's going to be Inception basically, because it's a podcast talking about a podcast.
Wow.
So I mean, are you guys ready for that?
I suppose so. Yeah. I'm ready for that.
I feel like you might have to be.
Yeah. We're here now, innit?
So talk to us a little bit about what it is, because there will be some people that maybe don't know what it is yet, and that's absolutely fine. But it's called the Lab Podcast. Obviously, we've got McCaughey and Dave with us from it, and so yeah, just talk to us a little bit about what it is.
Well, it's just two friends talking about whatever they want to talk about.
Legit.
We try and make it on topic or like relevant, but we just want to just talk about things that we think about on a day-to-day basis, or people might even think about.
And so my first question really is that who do you think's the funniest? Because
I think Mac. Okay, I don't know, because I think Mac is funny just because he didn't really know what's going on half the time. But I think I make funny content.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. On recording this, the last one that got uploaded was the shock challenge.
Yeah.
And
listen.
and I'm gonna be honest, your reaction to it is just incredible.
Wait,
Like, genuinely, like that hurt. Like,
Did it really hurt?
Yeah.
No, but like once you experience it once, the anticipation of the next one is just true.
Because I mean, there's a beautiful moment where you're kind of like, oh yeah, putting your fingers,
Yeah.
and then you're looking at him and you're like, no, honestly, this best be 5 out of 10. Like, this best be 5 out of 10.
Yes, because we tested it before. Right? I got it out before to make sure it works.
Sure.
And I tested it on Max before, and I put it on like 10 straight away. So you don't think Max knows what it's going to be like. He was like, no, please. So that's why he's a bit nervous during that.
And I mean, obviously, there was a beautiful moment, and in that where you obviously sort of lied.
Yeah.
To Matt.
Yes, I did.
You basically so the little bit of context is that they had to kind of guess which the foods were, and you both you gave them 2 Doritos.
Yeah,
and you had to
I
kind
did.
of differentiate between the 2.
But they were the same Dorito.
Yeah.
But I think I lost on that because I spent 45p on those crisps and we didn't even use them.
I know. Because I was in my head, I was like, I think that one will be quite easy to.
It would, because I didn't realise that they weren't. Because cool, what's it? Cool Original.
Yeah, and then
the crisps were cheesy.
cheese. I was like,
I don't normally eat Doritos.
I mean, before the thing, I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna struggle, right? Then I'm gonna do this one.
So, what's been your kind of favourite episode to sort of record so far?
Great question.
What do you think, bro? That's a great question.
Oh,
Thanks, guys. I have actually prepped this.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
I spent the whole day.
Genuine, man.
What's been yours favourite to record?
Fave episode. What have you done? To be fair, the electric shock one probably, in terms of what we've put out, in terms of what people would enjoy the most, I think that's definitely up there. It wasn't fun to make, because obviously. Yeah, I think the Life After College one, the first one we ever did, was actually pretty cool as well.
It was very pure and original.
Yeah.
That was very fun. I think Hot or Not, for me, Hot or Not.
Oh yeah, that was.
Because we just went through so many topics and didn't dilly-dally, as it were.
Dilly-dally.
We just spoke about loads of different things. I think that was my favourite to record.
Yeah.
We just spoke about loads of
And
things.
I quite liked watching the Hot or Not, because you said this a lot. You were like, oh, we're going to have to agree to disagree. You said that so many times.
Because he's wrong.
And then I was
to agree to disagree.
I was kind of in my head, I was like, I just want one of them to go for the other. Just be a bit like, fam,
no,
you're wrong.
he's too nice for that, you see. Every week, right? So he has all the content and all the videos and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And we always try and post a promo or whatever,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
always asks me, "Yo, bro,
What's the
what are we posting?" I'm like,
What was
bro,
the-
I don't know.
What's the caption? What's the caption? Tell me the caption.
I haven't seen the videos for 3 weeks. I don't know.
So behind the scenes, look at what they're
So I'm taking it that you guys like. Do you sit and watch your own content after? Because for me, genuinely, like I have to. So again, I've got a friend that edits it for me because I genuinely
nice.
cannot. But I cannot listen to myself or see myself
yeah.
on camera, which is obviously it's a bit ironic that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But it's like I find it so cringy. Like I'm sitting there going like, why were you sitting like that?
Yeah.
Like, do you
No,
know what I
it's
mean?
true.
Do you know what I mean?
It's true. I'm not gonna watch this back.
Yeah.
But like, why am I sitting like this? I'm just gonna move myself right now.
Yeah.
But do you guys like? Do you watch your stuff back or do you?
Well, the first time I managed to watch a podcast back is when it's uploaded.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
most of the time, I don't see it until it's uploaded. Max sees it. He edits it.
So I see it in terms of obviously I have to edit it and like basically put the whole thing together. Then once it's done and once it's up, I don't actually watch it when it's on YouTube because later I'm like, well, I kind of know.
But the funny
what's
thing
in it.
is, have you guys had this yet? So obviously, again, you know, we both do podcasts, and people will talk to you about a podcast that you may have uploaded like a year ago. People they'll say one line of it, and they'll look at you and they'll be like, oh yeah.
yeah.
And I'm literally looking at them like, fam, I have
No
no
idea
idea.
what you're on about.
I literally was like, oh, is that like a new meme or something? And they were like,
Genuinely.
That you came up with what?
Like people say to you like, oh yeah, I loved it when you said that. I was like, oh yeah.
and you're trying to remember your videos, and you're like, oh, did I say that?
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm already gassed. There's a bit later coming that I'm gassed for, but we'll be patient.
We'll get there.
We
We'll
move.
get there.
We
We'll get-
move.
See, you keep saying that, and
It just means we move, like we make
Yeah.
moves, innit?
sure. I feel like there's a couple of things that I'd love you to kind of have a count of the things that you keep
Yeah.
saying.
Like
So,
a make move counter.
Yeah, you've got that one. Moving on is another one.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Moving on. That's a
Moving on,
great
moving on,
question.
moving on.
That's a great
That's a great question.
That's a great question. Yo, so-
I think you should count some of those
There's
things,
like-
to see how many.
Max
times.
looking up at the
Sure,
sky
yeah.
to think of an answer. He does that more often than not.
Genuinely.
Sometimes I have to fill in, like,
Yeah,
Max,
yeah, yeah.
I can ask my question and he'd be like, and I'm just there like, bro,
What about
let's go.
I find that some of those moments are the best because it's like your mind gets put on the spot of it's
Yeah.
like, right, you've got to come up with something kind of funny. Like,
Yeah.
right now.
It's
It's so true. And what I'm really thankful for is that in our next one, it's the internet trends one that's been released a few weeks ago.
Okay.
There's points in that where I say something and my brain just goes to empty. After I finish this sentence, I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. And I'm so thankful that Mac actually comes in. Genuinely, it would just be silence.
So speaking, obviously, you guys, you're great friends, right? And
I'm doing.
So who you?
Yeah, man.
just wanted to check.
Man,
So is that so? Like, talk to us a little bit about kind of how the podcast kind of came about, really, because obviously, you know, I think it's a bit of a joke sometimes when people are like, "Oh, this should be a podcast."
Yeah.
Like, and I feel that half the time it's just people that are having an okay conversation with a friend,
Yeah.
and they go, "Oh, it should be a great podcast." And I find half the time I'm like, "It would."
Would it be?
Yeah.
But for what was your kind of heart behind it in some ways, and why did it come about? How did it come about? I feel like there's a story there that I want to unlock, or you're just going to turn around and say, "What have you said?"
Well, there's a little bit of a story. So
Yeah.
I've kind of been into video creation for quite a long time. When I was younger, my old best friend. I used to make like stop motion videos with him. So I'm sorry about that.
It's alright. It's alright.
It's okay.
I've always
bad on you.
I've always been kind of in the creative mind.
Is
So
he-
I've always liked creating.
Yeah, of course. And is he still around? Is he still a friend? Or...
No, listen, that no, yeah, let's move on.
Moving on.
So you've always been into it, like
Yeah.
you've always been into video creation, and then were you kind of just a little bit like, there's a bit of banter behind this?
It
guy.
is. Well,
Sure.
we were kind of, for me at least, I was edged towards by a friend of ours. We were in the kitchen one day. He was like, "Bro, you need to do it like a side
Side
thing,
hustle.
as in a side hustle." And I was like, you know what? I've always been interested in doing YouTube as a thing, and I like podcasts. I think they're new and cool. So I was like, Mike, do you want to do a podcast? Basically.
Yeah. We were like in a spoon.
No, it's true. Oh, yeah.
We were in a spoon just having breakfast.
Tell the story.
So we were like, it was, I'm going to name drop a couple of people. So it was us two.
Okay.
I don't remember about that. Yeah, there was Usher. No, joking.
Usher. He's going straight for Usher.
He told us all we got. I don't know. We were like, sure, man. No. So it was us two, a friend of ours called Nathan Gill, who is our audio engineer, who actually like helps us like with recording and stuff.
Come on, shout out.
Shout out. And then Dave Alcock, who's another friend of ours. So we went for like breakfast.
It was because he was home.
It was because he was home, so we like went for breakfast to just catch up. So we're in Pudding Pantry in Sherwood. Then like, I don't even.
Please sponsor this video.
Go fund me laptop.
Yeah. Oh, we need it. All of us need it.
New laptops.
We need. But then we wanted to go to Spoons because they like.
I just don't think that's ever been said. Ever.
What?
Oh, I really want to go to Spoons.
Fam, Spoons is...
Are you
actually for real? Spoons is the best. £5.20 for a burger, chips and drink.
All right, to be fair, like a lot of people like will be probably watching this going, I see you there a lot. it's not really out of choice. It's not because I'm like, this is an amazing place. It's just...
Well, yeah. Like, it's not like a gourmet establishment.
Yeah. I've not got a sponsor for the video yet, so... Sorry.
Yeah, no,
we digress.
Moving on. No. So we wanted to go to Spoons originally for breakfast, but then they ran out of breakfast or something. But then after Pudding Pantry, we went to Spoons.
Mad.
So we're in Spoons, and then we were just talking. Then he told me about the side hustle thing. Like someone told me I should do a side hustle. Thinking I was like, I looked at him and was like, we should start a podcast. And he was like, yeah. And
it was on that day.
It was on that day, and they were around that table like, oh, like, what would the name be? And then Nathan was like, oh, like, we'll buy like a domain, like, as like to get an email and stuff. I was like, and I walked away and I was like, flip, like.
You were shaking your head like that.
Money, what?
What? Like, what do you mean? That's a great idea.
So obviously in that moment you came up with the Lab podcast.
Yes.
Is there a little bit of a meaning behind it, or did it just sound a bit swag and you were a bit like, can't?
A bit of both in a way. The idea is it just sounds cool because it's just cool. I think we think anyway.
I also think I just it's
you think it's cool, Jordan?
The other idea was a lab is kind of like where experiments take place and where new ideas formulate.
So
and
if this goes wrong, then we've got
exactly.
That's the point.
That's kind of where the origin is based from.
Okay, I quite like that, to be honest. It's
nice. It's the same with like our design on our Instagram, on YouTube. It's a conical flask. Is that what it's called?
It's a test tube.
It's not a test tube. A test tube is just a cylinder one. This one's like a triangle. That's a conical flask. I am right.
I think it's if I'm being correct, and obviously I worked as a lab technician. So and that shout out Ethel, my producer, who's coming for your producer. So I think it's a test tube in a conical flask, basically, is what you guys are going for.
Yes.
Because on my first day, this is no banter. On my first day, is that someone asked me to move the conical flasks, and I had to ask what they were. No. Because I didn't know what they were. I was like, fam, I stopped doing science like 4 years ago. Like, no one cares. But yeah, it's a conical flask.
That's actually a ball.
I mean, if you're getting fancy, it could be a boiling tube, but we won't
easy, steady on.
So guys, obviously you've got a couple of new episodes coming out. You're kind of still kind of keeping up with the weekly vibe. I'm liking that. That's good. Obviously, you were ill quite recently, but that's fine. That's fine. But what's 2020 got planned? Have you guys got some plans in place, or are you kind of just gonna keep hitting that weekly goal?
Yeah, so kind of what we do is we kind of plan 3 or 4 kind of ideas and then we record them all on one day.
Of course.
So that's kind of how it was. Sometimes it's going to be relevant, sometimes it's not. But I think with our most recent, with our first ones, it was more just like discussing us, people trying to get people to find out who we are in a way. I think especially recently, we did the food challenge with the electric shock. We're discussing more, what am I looking for? Controversial topics. Excuse me. And we're just trying to explore different things we could do, not just in talking, but actually have physical props. So maybe in 2020, I'm thinking it is about bringing an extra element to just talking. So obviously there's people who listen to it, but most of our viewers are on YouTube.
Do you know what? It's kind of crazy that you said that, because I had a question written down that I was really on the fence whether I was going to ask it.
Oh no! Oh no!
But I was gonna say, well, I was gonna be like, would you guys go a bit more controversial with what you guys talk about?
Yeah.
Because I like,
Yeah.
and there was part of me that was like, I'd see the vibe of how it goes to see if I'll ask that. But you've kind of mentioned that
Yeah.
you might.
Already,
I think
yeah.
the thing is, Mike just doesn't like to argue, so I could just say anything.
Yeah, cool. Anyway.
But it is the fact that outside of the podcast, it's our responsibilities as well. We can't necessarily be saying such outrageous things. So we've got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Of course.
Which obviously, it's not the word limiting is wrong, but it does limit the content
That we
Yeah,
can
of
put out
course.
there,
that we can provide.
Yeah, I
So we're trying to
appreciate
that.
hit the boundaries.
Injuries, It's a fine line, yeah.
Dance around the line.
Yes, of course.
That's what I've done my entire life. And mainly got told off for it. But so speaking obviously of your content, what is the kind of like, again, I don't want to use the word like influences, but like how do you guys but like how do you guys sit down and talk about your content? Do you kind of just bounce ideas off each other and then come up with a couple of things? Is that kind of how you guys sort of, I guess what you're kind of, how the way you guys work is what I'm trying to find. So yeah, do you guys do that, or do you guys go a bit more kind of like? I feel that Dave's a bit more like, yo, this is what's happening, and you're gonna be cool with it.
Yeah, to an extent, I think as a general, and you can like disagree if you want, but I think a lot of the time we kind of like, in terms of ideas and like how we actually come up with them, we'll kind of, because you're quite into YouTube, like anyway,
Yeah.
just outside of it. So a lot of the time it's kind of like, a lot of our ideas for episodes are kind of like, we'll watch a load of other channels and be like, oh, like that's like a cool idea, that's a cool concept, and then we'll kind of make it work for us basically, and we'll kind of put our own spin on it. But like a lot of the time, even more recently, it's kind of like David will kind of like come up with like a couple of episodes, and then we'll be like, because even Nathan again, we love him, audio engineer. Love you, bro. We have like a
Big
we
love.
have like a mini like iMessage group chat, so we kind of, which is basically where we bounce ideas off each other and stuff. So David will kind of put, oh, like next episodes, this, and this. Will be like, oh, sick. Like maybe incorporate this. This is what we could talk about, kind of thing, and we'll kind of do it in that way, if that makes sense.
Have you guys then encountered some issues like along the way of
Yes.
trying to create content? Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, the two reactions that I got there is you were going yes, and Mac was going. Are you sure?
The thing is, right, because shout out Nathan Gilligan, he's obviously he's very much like,
I should have got him involved.
He's-
Yeah,
He should have been
we
here.
love you, Nathan.
I'm
He's
so
kind
sorry.
of like, he's our final point of what we can say. So the amount of times I've been like, I've put on like the group chat, oh, we should talk about this. Nathan's like, no, we just
No, we
can't.
can't
Or like
do that.
legal wise,
yeah,
we
yeah.
can't say that.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like our last resort of what we can say. If he wasn't there, we'd
Gonna break the law.
yeah.
You'd be doing like father, like son. That's amazing though, because I feel that sometimes it's like being real in it, because obviously we all face problems and whatever with making content, and like there's been loads of times where for me myself, as I've turned on a camera, done something and been like, that's just rubbish.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
True,
rubbish.
yeah.
And I think it's like an interesting thing, because obviously I got some people myself, and you've obviously got Nathan, who's just like those guys that will just sort of, yo,
Yeah, which is
we
good.
can trust.
Some
We can
yeah,
trust.
100%, and that's really good to have, to be honest. I just wanted to have like a little word of advice, and that is that there's a candle situation
Okay.
that's kind of getting to me. I'm going to be honest. Like, I was obviously again preparing for this. Obviously, I do try and watch as many as I
Yeah,
can
of course.
when they
You
come
would,
out,
yeah.
but I was rewatching them, and I saw that in every single episode, the candles are in different positions. It's a different candle.
Yeah.
At points, some of them aren't even lit. Like, and I just wanted to say, as a little word of advice, guys, just stick to it. Just put a candle.
Well,
thing and
you
stick to
see.
it.
So you may not, as I've said already, we record 3 or 4 on
I
each.
feel like I'm shooting at Nathan a little bit, and I'm so sorry, because he's probably the guy that's thought about that, and I feel bad, but I had to raise it.
Of course, no, but there's a reason. So we record
Brilliant.
3 or 4 on each day. So you see us in different clothes in each episode. We
Yeah.
plan that, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. But what we always forget is like the table.
set, like-
It's like in our first 3 episodes, like there's 2 candles in the middle for the whole
Thing,
time.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, you know, 3 weeks later when we record, it's like a different
Different
thing.
thing, yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, it's just we just forget about it. Yeah.
I just found it quite funny, because I was like, I wasn't there last episode.
Something's going on.
But it's quite interesting as well with the clothes, because obviously I don't really do that, and I'd like to do more of that when you do a couple in a day. But because I always forget what I've worn. And in my head I'm like, did I wear this last episode? Are people then just gonna roast me for wearing the same thing? Oh fuck, get some new clothes in. And so then you're trying to find like, I've not worn this in months. So I just wanted to, and again, a little of a funny thing. Are you still a James Blunt fan?
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. That's one of my favourite moments when you just start singing James Blunt. I just like, oh my goodness, he's going for it.
Did you rate it?
I did rate it because, again, as Max says, it's kind of like, this is going to be he's actually all right.
I've got every time. Like, I'm like, no, you're not bad.
Yeah, it's kind of that thing of it was like, yeah, no, fair. That's actually done the song some justice, to be honest. Yeah. But obviously, you can both sing, I would say.
That was like a one-off.
Well, I was going to say, I feel that you should do like a diss track or something, like something. Just, I feel that you should do a song together.
Should we do it? Should we do it?
The Lab Podcast song. I feel that all I'm saying is I'm bouncing ideas and I'll take 25%
of all profits.
25% of nothing is still
Still got to have that name on the bottom.
We'll do that. We're going to do that. And we'll tag you. We'll do it.
That's a good idea, you know?
Amazing. I actually now can't wait. I can't wait.
100%. That's going to happen. We'll
Amazing. So right now, guys, I'm already excited. I can't wait. I can't wait any longer. I can't. Okay. And so this is my favourite bit.
Okay. Oh, no.
So again, obviously, I've had like two artists on before.
Yeah.
And so the aim of the game really is that I would obviously just say a lyric back to them.
Yeah.
And they would obviously have to say which song it was. And I mean, I've only done it in one episode, and they smashed it. They got all of them right because he listens to his music quite a lot. But, I then thought it'd be quite interesting to do it with a podcast. Because obviously you guys, you might say some mad stuff, and I was just a bit like, let's bring it to the light. So I'll go nice and easy.
Are we both gonna guess?
Yeah. So sorry. Again is like, it's one of you has said it in one of the episodes, and I just want you guys to see who you think it is. Right. I think they might be quite easy. But we'll just see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So I think this one might be quite easy. Is we had our reservations because it was a 3-star hotel.
yes, that's Mac. What's that one from? That's the Holiday Horrors one.
I mean,
yes.
Do you know what I loved about it? Is the way you were talking about hotels, as if you were like, oh my goodness. If it's not 5-star, I don't want to even be seen anywhere near it.
He went to the high school. So
out of
5-star things, isn't it?
This is also the beautiful thing is out of context. All these sound a little bit weird. This is the one I'm a little bit like, I'm hoping I can keep it in. Do you know what I mean? It's, oh no, I'm 14 and I haven't found the one yet. That is, oh no, I'm 14 and I haven't found the one yet.
No, that was you. That was
you.
No, that was dating in 2019.
That's you. Because I can imagine you get, oh no, like it's you. I don't know when do I go, oh no, that's you, fam. 100%.
This is awesome. This has done exactly what I wanted it to do.
It is you. When did I say that? Give me the context of when I said that.
Pushing into relationships. Oh, I don't even. I'm pretty sure
I'm 100% sure it's Mac.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying it's him.
Okay, so just to blame me.
I hope I haven't said it.
So I'm going to be honest. It is Dave.
Yeah.
It's Dave on the dating one.
Are you really?
Because you are obviously then talking about relationships, and you were saying, and you just say it as a bit of a throwaway comment, and I went, "That's perfect."
That sounds a bit
Mac would say though.
Again,
oh my days.
So this is another throwaway one. It's I'm not a social media bash. I'm
never
not
said
a
the word
social
bash.
media bash.
Bash? You never say bash.
I don't even know what that means.
I've never said the word bash.
Do you know what it means? Oh well, this is kind of gone a little bit backwards because I was going to ask you what it means. so I heard
social media bash.
So that's dating as well. It's towards the end of the episode, and you're talking about social media and how it's kind of involved in it.
Social media bash.
That's got to be you because I've never said that.
And again, you say it as a proper throwaway comment. So it's Matt that said it. And you just kind of do this weird sort of like, I'm not a social media bash. And then it just kind of carries on.
Did you mean to say the word bash?
Mate, probably not. Probably, but I don't even know what's the context. What are the words? Yeah. What are other word could have gone in there. Yeah.
Imagine. I really hope that I've got the word, the right words
We'll
there.
listen to it back.
I'm going to go back at
Yeah.
after you know what?
I feel like I'm going to
Jordan,
get
the word was fan.
got it totally wrong. I'm broke, fam.
That's me.
It's the meal deals. They add up.
Yes. That is Mac. That's from our very first promo video. That's Mac because he's always broke. He's broke now.
I just love that. I was just like. Also, I want to say there's a running joke as well about the car situation.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, man. Obviously, I passed first time, and that's fine.
Welcome to the club.
Thanks, mate. I felt like I needed that, but
Yeah, man.
3 times, you know what I mean? 3 times the charm. I feel like you even
You got a
actually
car?
say that as well. I haven't got a car.
Oh,
so
I
we'll
see.
move on.
Crazy.
Listen, no, hang on.
I do. Wow.
Matt, I wouldn't be shouting too loud about it. So we parked up today, right? Listen. So we parked in the car, but
Sure.
Mac, for some reason, he parked next to another car. Like, why did you do that in an
It's
empty
been a long
car
day,
park?
I'm tired, you
And he
know.
parked like that, genuinely, in real distance, that close. And he was trying to get out. He couldn't get out. He had to climb over the
Is
passenger
that actually
side.
true?
Yeah.
Am I gonna have to go
You
out and
are.
sort something out? Like, do you know what I mean?
Like, you got nothing to shout about, bro.
True.
You can't park.
Let's have a car then.
Alright, my mum and dad don't love me in it. But, so this is the last one. This is the last one. You have to be talented to make them, because otherwise, anyone else could have made them. The reason why I like that,
What does that even mean?
I love that because I obviously was listening to it and I was like, what does that mean? You have to be talented to make them, because why hasn't anyone
I
else
think
made
that was
them?
you.
I don't remember saying this.
But I don't know what episode that was from.
It
You have to be
was.
talented to make them.
It was Dave, and it was also in the music. When you're talking about music,
Oh,
you're talk-
songs. Yeah.
You're talking about like.
Oh,
little-
yeah.
I remember. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like Lil Pump and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like, because obviously he made Gucci Gang and stuff, but like you
yeah.
have to actually have talent to make it. and
But
that's-
again,
everyone would make it.
It. I know what you're trying to say, and it does sort of make sense. But the way that it comes
Yours
across
is
is
like-
just a little bit sort of like,
Hey.
Oh my
well,
days.
yeah.
I don't even remember saying that.
I mean, yeah, that's my last one. I could have kept going for ages because they're so brilliant.
Is it?
There's so many.
That was good
are
fun.
very
I enjoyed
good.
that.
Yeah, that was such a joke.
So this is your moment to shine, guys. I mean, what do you want to plug? Talk to us. Talk to us about your social medias. Where can people come and see more of your content?
Come on, blessings.
Let's go.
Well, we are on Instagram, of course, at the Lab Pod. I messed it up, but we'll go again.
At the Lab
Oh, do you know
Podcast.
what? I do it all the time.
Innit?
Is it when you're trying to plug something, you're like,
You gotta say it perfectly.
Perfectly.
It's at the Lab Podcast underscore.
Underscore.
Make sure you hit the underscore, otherwise you won't.
Otherwise, you'll
find
miss it. You'll find some other dead podcast. There's actually no. You know what? There's another Lab Podcast. Ratings to you. You guys are trying. Never mind.
man, do you know them?
Oh wait, are they those guys from America?
Yeah, like you know, like the
Oh.
black note. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we need to plug ourselves.
Anyway, that's the Instagram.
That's
bro.
the Instagram.
YouTube, the Lab Podcast. If you type that in, it's like again the test tube with the conical
And it's
flask,
green and
that
black.
logo,
Yeah,
that green
yeah,
and
yeah.
black. Subscribe to us, and then you can also listen to our stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, and a load of other podcast streaming apps like Deezer
iTunes?
and Google. Yes. Yes. You
What
can.
about? I don't have any others. But awesome, thank you guys so much for coming in.
Well, thanks
It's
for
been
having me,
it's
man.
been an absolute pleasure. Yeah, obviously check these guys out, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Got it bumping.
Just like that.
Lovely.
That was very good.
Thank you for having us, bro.
Yeah, that was sick.
so
Really
fun.
enjoyed that.
Now, mate, thank you guys for coming.